of the nights while we're in the house, my electric fence was on. And immediately the next thing I heard was somebody screamed, and I just heard like immediately I heard that sound. The next thing was the alarm went off immediately, and it was 3. The funny thing about that guy, I think he was trying to act really smart, like a smart guy who knows what this thing is, because immediately there was power outage around 3 o'clock, 3 a.m. 5 minutes after that time. It means they were already just waiting for power outage. If there's power outage, then they strike. Immediately it was 5 minutes past that moment, that 3. That was what happened. So immediately the guy thought the next thing was that shout, and the alarm went off. Hello, good day. Today we're going straight into our question and answer section. And I'll be waiting for the moderator to give most of those questions. I think that most of us, we are not truly conversant with. We don't really understand what those things are. So over to you, sir. Can I hear your question, sir?
Good day, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
I'd like to know what an electric fence is.
Okay, like meant to understand, I think I learned this years ago from a boss, He told me, I said, electric fence, he said, it's the first line of defense. When you say the first line of defense, it means if there's an intrusion, maybe somebody trying to scale through your fence to the house, your electric fence is the first that triggers an alarm. Mind you, something happened I think sometimes ago. A client of mine in Abuja, she called and he said, your fence actually, there was caught and the alarm went off immediately. And I was saying that thing, there's issue with it. And I said, that is how electric fence should work. You've seen a couple of fences around town. Even if there's a break in the supply, the cables are out, you still see the electric fence still working. And that's an aberration. That's a fault. That's a problem already. Because most of these installers, they don't even understand what the principle of how this is really operating. So don't be surprised if you hear that. So we can say, like I just said earlier, that electric fence is your first line of defense. It's just you having a perimeter boundary around your house, right? Which is electrified and also connected in a sort that if any of the lines are opened, the alarm goes off, which automatically tells you to either get up, what next, your next line of action. And it's very important to have electric fence. When your lines are out, it should trigger the alarm immediately. I think that is all I can say for electric fence, sir.
Yes, I think that gives me a comprehensive idea about what an electric fence is.
That's right.
I'd like to move to the next question, please. I'd like to know if electric fence really works.
And this is where I have issues with most clients today. Because you've given your job to a quack to execute, and it's not working, most clients, they generalize it like electric fence doesn't work. That's not true. Electric fence truly works. If you get, should I say, a reliable installer to install your electric fence, I'll tell you those purposes will be served. Now, let me give you an example. I think during the lockdown, people were burgling into people's compound, burgling into people's property. They just scale your fence. They scale your fence, they enter your house, and they want to get something for them to get themselves, It was rampant as at that period. One of the nights, while we're in the house, my electric fence was on. And immediately the next thing I heard was somebody screamed, and I just heard immediately I heard that sound. The next thing was the alarm went off immediately. And it was 3. The funny thing about that guy, I think he was trying to act really smart, like a smart guy who knows what this thing is, because immediately there was power outage around 3 o'clock, 3 a.m. 5 minutes after that time. It means they were already just waiting for power outage. If there's power outage, then they strike. Immediately it was 5 minutes past that moment, that 3. That was what happened. So immediately the guy thought the next thing was that shout, and the alarm went off. The alarm was off till it kept shouting from around that 3, as at the time it was past 5, the siren was no longer able to bear the whole thing, got damaged. I left it when it was daybreak around 7. I went there, I had to turn off the fence, I had to replace that siren that day. So for electric fence truly works. Only when you give to the right people to execute it, but not the one you give to a quack and you want to expect something good out of it. It doesn't work that way. Over to you, sir. The next question, sir.
Thank you. Our next question is a kind of tricky question, but I hope you understand.
All right.
Does electric fence buy?
Buy. Okay, for our viewers out there, if you hear the word buy, it means you understand. Well, because of YouTube guidelines, I don't want to really use that word. Electric fence doesn't buy. It doesn't. It doesn't buy. I've seen somebody someday, he was actually trying to convince a client to fix electric fence. And he told the client, if you do this thing, it will, the person is gone. And I heard it out like, wow, this guy is a lion. When you say lion, Linus, lion, you lie like something else. So that was what I just, what's this? He just had to, because he wanted to convince the client, he told the client that this thing, it would buy anybody that goes close to it, that touches it. No, electric fence doesn't buy. I have a couple of energizers. I've actually had a one-on-one experience with different kinds of energizer where I have had shock from them. One of the toughest I had was one energizer then. When I had that shock, I'll tell you, all through that day, I was not myself. I became sick. Just for electric fence shock, I became sick. But at the end of the day, all through that day, I was taking just watermelon and meat till the next day before I got my system back. But it doesn't buy. But one thing I'm very sure, it will actually give you what they call that you feel that shock, like, wow, what is this? So if possible, should I say, wants to turn the way you think, it's possible, but it doesn't buy. So that's what I'll say about electric fence. And for those of you who are lions, please take note. Don't tell that to your client any longer. It doesn't buy. Over to you, sir. The next question.
Moving on to the next question.
Okay.
And why do some people prefer concertina or American fence, which some of us know as barbed wire,
right,
to electric fence?
Okay, it is because I think some of them, they just feel electric fence is not reliable, and that's not true. I'll tell you, electric fence might be maintaining it. You might see it as expensive because, but barbed wire, if you fix barbed wire, just leave it there. You're not even concerned. But electric fence, immediately any line go off, for every line that goes off anytime that they cut, maybe somebody play ball to it and the lines are broken, any of the line is broken, or there's a contact between any of the lines, you notice your alarm will always go off. And some people, most time, they feel they are just tired. And sometimes another reason is some people, you just go along the street, you see some electric fence that they are fully damaged, you see it rough. So that's why I said maintenance is very important when it comes to electric fence. So some persons will just prefer, let me just fix this stuff once. If I fix the concertina or the American barbed wire, American fencing wire, and that's all, I don't need any other thing. But I want to tell you, the risk concerning American fencing wire, I've experienced that one time. Some years ago, a client actually called and he lodged a complaint that we should come fix electric fence in his house. We got to the scene of the incident where I think robbers came to the house and they scaled his fence. You know what they did? We still saw what they brought that day. They brought blankets. They first put over one of the side and they cut that thing. It was silent. And they entered the house. They hit the stuff, the color, color. They actually used it on the clients that day, and they carted a whole lot of stuff away from that house that day. And they said they wanted an electric fence. So we had to upgrade from the concertina, that's the American fence wire, to the electric fence, which you understand that anytime you touch, the alarm goes off, and they are aware nothing sweetens anybody to know that, okay, somebody is coming to your house and you're already aware that they are outside. So every of the move you want to make as at that time, you can make them. So, but some clients just prefer, okay, fine, it's expensive to maintain, but it's not really expensive. But you just have to always put your eyes most times on your fence. If there's anything, make sure you call the installer when it's ready done to come maintain as soon as possible. That's for all for now, sir.
Okay, to the last question.
All right.
I would like to know if earthing is actually necessary.
Earthing in electric fence. Wow. Okay. You just asked if electric fence, earthing is important in electric fencing. It is very, very important. Very important, you know. I mean, so important. Now, you see the catalyst for your vehicle, right? Catalyst. If you have the catalyst for a vehicle, you see, you might say it's not important, but you see the consumption of your fuel when the catalyst is absent. By the time most of the mechanics they've taken it out, you see your vehicle consume more fuel. But when the catalyst is there, it reduces the fuel consumption. We can liken it to the electric fence. When you have earthing, your fence is more effective. You have that more shock. When someone touches it, it can travel far, helps it to travel far, where you feel the shock everywhere. But when you eliminate your earthing, now, what you begin to enjoy mostly when the earthing is removed, the shock might drop. If you don't have your earthing, the shock drops. But if the circuit is open, the alarm will go off. But you want a scenario where any intrusion, anybody will try to scale your fence, they should first experience that shock, that miraculous shock. Just take that in. Have your own fair share of this. And at the end of the day, after that, alarm goes off, which is better for you than somebody just come and they just cut your fence, nothing happens. So earthing is so important when it comes to electric fence. And I want to advise and encourage every installer out there, please try and always make sure you have earthing incorporated to your fencing. It makes it more effective. And I hope this video meets you well. Moderator, I want to say thank you for your time. Until we meet again in the next section of this video, the question and answer section, do have a lovely week. Bye for now. Love you.